What if the next generation of computing or exciting technology isn't in your pocket, but in your eyes? Well, today I'm talking to you live from the show floor at GITEX Global in Dubai. And I'm surrounded by thousands of innovators. And in one booth in particular that I notice has been drawing in an almost magnetic crowd is a company called XPANCEO. And they are a deep tech company, one that develops an invisible and weightless smart contact lens as the ultimate interface for AI-powered XR computing. And I got talking to one of their founders, and he was telling me that XPANCEO isn't just building another gadget. They're developing these smart contact lenses for an AI-driven XR computing in a way that's capable of augmenting reality, biosensing, and what he likes to call superpowers, such as the ability to see at night. It's the kind of concept that sounds like science fiction, until you realise that he has working prototypes sitting just a few feet from where I'm talking to you from today. Not to mention the fact that their valuation places his startup as the first deep tech unicorn from the Gulf region. So I asked him to join me on the podcast. Thankfully, he said yes. And during our conversation today, we'll discuss how he and his co-founder, who is a world-renowned physicist, how they together brought a team of scientists and engineers to create what might become the ultimate human AI interface. And for startup founders listening, also a bit of sound advice, we're going to talk about how a prototype can turn disbelief into almost immediate investment, and the emotional resilience that it takes to build a company when everyone else is telling you to stop, and why the future of computing needs a new form factor to match the rise of intelligent systems. So today I invite you to join me on the show floor at GITEX Global, where together we will explore the future of AI-driven wearables, human-machine symbiosis, and what it really means to invent tomorrow's interface today. But the real question is, what would you do if you could literally see the digital world unfold right before your eyes? Well, let's find out and get my guest onto the podcast now. So I'm talking to you today live on the show floor. Tell me a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Hi, my name is Roman Axelrod. I happen to be founder of a company called XPANCEO, and we are a deep tech company that develops ultimate interface for smart contact lenses. So basically, we develop contact lenses with digital functions like AR, biosensing, and something we call superpowers like the ability to see at night, etc., etc. We've been on this path for almost more than 5 years. We have been incredibly lucky to gather team of physicists and engineers that was ranked as top 3 startups in physics worldwide, to provide the world with at least 15 prototypes and many patents, and raised a little bit south of $300 million US, and the current valuation of the company, the latest valuation of the company is $1.35 billion US. So we have been pretty lucky to be the first deep tech unicorn in GCC.
You say incredibly lucky. It's a 5-year journey, and you must be exhausted at the minute. And obviously, you're here in Dubai. We're sat here in your booth, which looks amazing, by the way. Tell me a little bit more about where you're from, because I believe the team's distributed around the world.
No, we have all engineers and scientists are here in Dubai. Myself, I'm Russian-Israeli. My co-founder, Valentin, is Ukrainian. Basically, I'm a non-technical co-founder. I am responsible for product management, marketing, communications, fundraising, basically keeping the lights on. And, I provide vision. Valentin provides science and engineering. Valentin is one of the most well-known physicists in modern optics in the world, and he brought this amazing, incredible expertise, he and his team, to develop this gadget in such a tight time frame. So far, we have been able to, to somehow manage to merge scientific knowledge and product and productish and business-ish thinking in order to make it not a science lab, but a bunch of science labs oriented in trying to create a real product that will, impact lives. And well, we can agree by today, we can agree that next generation of computing is AI. So basically, in today, it kind of happened quietly, but it will expand. And in 3 to 5 years, we'll be talking not to apps in our phones. We'll be talking to intelligent layer of AI placed between us and computing power. So basically, when you want to listen to your favorite song, you don't care much, or whether it's going to be Spotify or YouTube Music. You just want to say, "Hey, assistant, turn on Space Oddity," and you just want it to turn on and to listen to the song. So basically, when trying to create this new computing, both the heart and the brain and the form factor are equally important. You actually need a gadget to use this intelligent layer. And we believe that contact lenses might be very convenient for this matter, as they are absolutely, well, weightless. They're always there. You do not need to charge them all the time like you do with your phones. You do not need multiple uninterchangeable, bulky, ugly gadgets like we do now. This actually might be a good interface for AI era of computing.
So tell me about the product, the gadget, and everything that you're showcasing here on the booth. People listening around the world and that can't attend, what they're missing, what are you showcasing here?
Well, basically, we showcase a few prototypes able to provide you with AR experience, basically to place a picture in front of you, like with any kind of AR helmet or glasses. Think of it as an infinite screen just in front of your eyes. And, well, this working prototype of this gadget is like literally probably 2 meters away from us as we speak. So it's not a pitch, it's not a sales deck. We have a working prototype of this gadget here on the booth. Then, second, biosensing, being able to measure core biological parameters like glucose for diabetes, intraocular pressure for glaucoma, and a bunch of other parameters. And so far, we have developed prototypes of these products. They are all showcased here at our booth at GITEX in Dubai. And, well, we have spent an enormous amount of time and effort patenting those gadgets, those prototypes, and we will spend at least 12 months trying to integrate all those prototypes into one, and hopefully approach human trials with integrated prototype. So basically all the gadgets you see today at the booth will be merged into one, and this is what we call an integrated prototype. This integrated prototype will be brought into human trials in UAE and hopefully US and UK.
One of the things I love about this event is you take a look around and you immediately see 10, 15 different nationalities. With that kind of diversity of thought and people getting hands-on with your product, I'm curious, what kind of response have you had? What kind of reaction have you had from people that are playing with these prototypes and getting hands-on with it?
Well, as Mr. Musk said, building a company is like chewing glass and staring into the abyss. And I totally agree. We have been on this path for almost 5 years. First 2 years, total disbelief and mocking. So one of my closest friends told me, "Roman, you're a grown-up. Stop it. Just, I have built and sold 3 companies before I started this project. Well, I have built and sold 3 companies, and well, did not succeed with at least 10 of them. So it's like, normal ratio. And my friends were like, you are an established IT entrepreneur. You're about to ruin your career in life. What are you doing with your life? Please stop this messy dreaming. Get back to normal. Just get back to your fintech, SaaS, whatever. But we were pretty stubborn. And no one believes in deep tech until you have prototype present. When you have prototype is king. Until you don't have prototype, just, total disbelief and mocking. When you have a prototype on the table in front of you and your potential investors, well, things went completely upside down, to put it mildly. Once you have a prototype and a patent, the market and the investors understand that it's not so common even for typical software companies to achieve a software prototype, working prototype. And when suddenly someone like a deep tech team emerging from a scientific lab has managed to achieve a working prototype, this is probably, once in a generation thing, at least one in 10 years thing. And there aren't many deep tech companies like Planetwise. And when something like that happens, an actual deep tech company, deep tech team, scientists and engineers have somehow managed to create a working prototype and to patent it, then you have, a line of investors trying to invest. And, well, especially considering the fact that deep tech is not only, deep and tech, but notoriously expensive. Our seed round was $40 million US. We have spent $10 million US on equipment alone. I'm not talking about salaries, all kinds of stuff, office, rent, etc., etc. Equipment alone, $10 million. Very expensive. And that's partly why we're in Dubai. 0 income tax. We are able to pay, competitive salaries comparing to Google, Apple, etc., for our scientists, engineers, and product management. And this burden for the company is, not as burdenish as it could have been in the UK or Switzerland or the US.
There's so much gold in your answer there, especially for a founder that might be listening. Maybe they've got people telling them you need to stop doing this, you need to give up. So getting that prototype out there will help you get the funding, getting the patents, etc. Any advice you would give to any startup founder listening that's getting similar advice to what you had when you maybe nearly gave up, but you continue to be stubborn and push through?
You know what? I'm going to, as this guy from Andreessen Horowitz, Ben Horowitz, he put it in his book, Hard Things About Hard Things. Unfortunately, I'm not going to tell anything, anything inspiring. I'm going to tell a hard truth. As I think I think it was some of famous 19th century poets or novel writers. There was a guy, I can't recall the name, he told that write a poem only in case you cannot write. If you absolutely cannot live without writing, only then write. So in case you should only build a company in case you're absolutely unable not to build it. Because it's hard, it's financially unstable, probably first 10 years of it. And it's hard, it's really hard. So really think about it twice. But if you have decided to build a company, then be stubborn as hell. Do not listen to anyone. Do not listen to your family. Do not listen to your wife. Well, kind of persuade her that, yes, happy wife, happy life. But try to persuade her, but, well, be reluctant. Do not listen to basically anyone. Believe in what you want to build. At the same time, don't be stubborn. Be stubborn, but don't be stubborn. Be stubborn in trying to build, but always be ready to pivot. Always be ready to listen to those trying to help you achieve your product. And, well, not trying to persuade you not to develop the product. And, well, just be kind to yourself.
And that is far more inspiring than I think you possibly realise. And for anyone that's walking away from your booth today, they've visited your booth, you're walking away, what would you ideally want them to walk away? What do you want them thinking about when they're thinking about XPANCEO?
We both, myself and my co-founder Valentin, and our founding team, we are, true believers of the miracle. We really do believe that, in case this company contributes to establishment of the next generation of computing, like in case we will be able to provide, 1% of this next generation of computing, I will consider myself as a perfectly accomplished person. And I just want people to really understand that this generation of computing, AI, namely AI-driven XR computing, AI algorithms that we operate through glasses, lenses, etc., we really do need them in order to achieve targets we as a species, as a humanity, has set ourselves at least for the next 100 years, becoming interplanetary species, living 150 years. All this is absolutely unimaginable with current generation of computing. Modern computers they're not enough. And we need new generation of computing. We need more computing power. We need smarter algorithms and better form factor and interface. That's what we're trying to build. And, well, ideally, I would like those visiting the booth to understand that's not a science fiction. That's not, a novel. It's already happened. That's it.
Oh, fantastic. And I've been watching you today and you're being pulled in 1,000,001 different directions here on the booth. So many conversations. Have you had a chance to escape for a few minutes? Is there anything else you've seen here that excites you?
Coffee booth. I've seen the coffee booth twice.
As I said,
No. Coffee booth twice, lavatory 0.
Well, I appreciate how busy you are, but just more than anything, thank you for just taking a few moments out and sharing.
My pleasure. I really do appreciate the your kind interest into regarding what we do, and I really do appreciate the possibility to tell general public to persuade people that it's not a science fiction. We call it officially approved future. How many times have you seen flying cars or driverless cars in mass culture and in the movies, in comic books during 20th century? 1,000 times. And here they are. You can use them. You literally can use driverless cars in San Francisco, in Dubai, in many other parts of the world. Are they common? Not yet. Will it happen? Definitely. Same goes with new computers.
Yeah, completely agree. I had a ride in my first Waymo a few months ago, and it was amazing how quickly it became normal, And when I first got there, I was amazed seeing all these cars driving by. Then I'm riding in a car. Then I'm seeing them everywhere. It just became normal within a day,
And for my 4-year-old son, this is normality. He doesn't know that he knows that his daddy drives a car sometimes, but for him, driverless car is just a car. It's not a robot car. It's not an intelligent car. It's a car.
Yeah.
And that's what I want, to help humanity to approach.
And I think that is a powerful moment to end on. Thanks again for sharing your story.
Cool. Thank you.
So as I step away from my guest booth, it's hard not to think about just how close we might be to a world where contact lenses double as personal computers. And my guest reminded us today that deep tech progress isn't just about breakthroughs in labs. It's about relentless belief, sleepless nights, and the courage to keep building, even when the odds and even your family and friends say otherwise. But I think hearing him describe how his team merged physics with product thinking in a way that was able to help them create a working prototype made one thing clear. This isn't science fiction anymore. And it's happening right here in Dubai in real time on a show floor filled with the energy of possibility. So if there's any takeaways from today's conversation, for me, it's that every big leap forward starts with stubborn optimism and a willingness to prove an idea that might seem impossible doesn't have to be that way. And with that inspirational note, I want you to ask yourself, what future are you building, even when everyone says it can't be done? As always, techblogwriter@outlook.com, LinkedIn, X, Instagram, just @NeilC.Hughes. Love to hear your thoughts on this one. Keep them coming across, but right now, I'm getting straight back out onto that show floor. Speak with you again tomorrow. Bye for now.